Barn. And all of those of you out there on the internet, the Big E is back, just back again and again and again, like a bad penny. It's Friday, about 5:45 in the evening. We're going to give you some games here in a few minutes leading into Saturday. I think what we're going to do here is recap our Jihujin Thursday, 17 games. Let's see how we did there. I think what we'll do is break this into 2 episodes. This is the recap episode, and then I'm going to hit pause and break it into a separate episode with the picks for Saturday. Just because it'll be too damn long and it'll take forever to upload, and I want to hit the bar, frankly. So I don't want to be sitting there watching that thing spin at 0%. Screw that. So let's get moving here. 17 games last night. 17 games. Pretty much all mid-majors. That seems to be where my model is just dying to go. And it's got a mind of its own. I try to control it, but it does what it wants. So let's see what happened. Let's get to the top. 10 wins, 7 losses. 10 wins, 7 losses. We'll take that all day long. That puts us at 44-32 for the season, or since we started making these videos. About what? We started on the 6th of January. 44-32? Yeah, I'll take that. I mean, that's around 57%. That's not with like 6 picks either. That's with 70-some picks. So come on now, we're doing all right here. So in case you haven't noticed, we're doing good. What do we got here? Delaware, that was one of our plays. That was a winner. Winning outright as a 7-point dog, 73-71. Green Bay at Cleveland State, one of our plays. They squeezed past. That one could have gone either way. That was down to the end there where you're on that seesaw where the one team's got the lead, the other team's fouling. Foul, make 2 free throws. The other team comes down, gets uncontested layup, foul, make 2 free throws. So we came out on the right end of the seesaw there, 78-74. Good thing we desperately needed that one too. So that was a good one to get. UP, whatever, Purdue, Indiana, what the hell. They got hammered, 76-64, we lost to Detroit Mercy. USC Upstate, that's a South Carolina school, bad team, getting 15.5 points. Needless to say, the bad team got bombed. This one was disappointing. This is the problem with playing bad teams, is that at any point in time, the good team may just decide, all right, that's enough, and just hammer them. And that's what happened. We were up, I'm sure, we weren't really up. I take it back. They were ahead like 4 points late in the first half. The game was tied at half. You're getting 15.5 points, and there's only 20 minutes left to go. But, like I said, if the good team decides, you go into the locker room and the coach goes, all right, now, let's see who wants to play here in the second half. And the guys that don't, they're not going to get any minutes. Well, then, that's a threat players take seriously, and then, that's the end of that. So that's what happened to us. Winthrop just kicked out and put on a show in the second half, and we lost. Drexel. What do we have to say about Drexel? We had these guys on our no-fly list, and we conditionally removed them from the list. Well, Zach Spiker, you're back on the list. Bad loss, losing 85-52. We're never in it. Bad loss. So you fooled me on that one, kid. We'll see. Probably that'll be the last time we play you before you get fired. But we'll see. So that was a loss. Illinois Chicago, getting 4 points at Oakland, which is a suburb of Detroit, I believe. Big win, easy win, 80-50. That's what we like. the kind where we can look at the scoreboard and go, okay, that one's in my pocket. Don't need to worry about that one. Those are the good ones. Belmont in the Battle of the Ohio Valley. Oh, we were disappointed with this one because we really kind of thought Belmont was going to get this one, that they were going to get their vengeance. But Murray State takes care of business at home, 85-75. Belmont is now dangerously close to becoming Murray State's bitch. We'll have to keep an eye on that. They'll probably play again in the Ohio Valley tournament. So we'll see if that comes to pass. Gardner-Webb, you couldn't beat Tubby. Oh my goodness. They won, but by not enough, 79-76. We got, it's hard to say we got unlucky in this game because, you know, went to overtime and we're a 6.5 point favorite. So, you know, we're getting that extra roll of the dice. And they were up. I mean, they were up like 8 points with like 25 seconds to go. So we're covering and they had the ball. And, you know, this is the part where you hang on to the ball, they foul you, you go make 2 foul shots, and then they miss a desperation 3, and we covered. That's how that's supposed to go. Well, the kid kicked the ball to High Point, who then went down, scored, and then it was all over. So, what can you do? We probably deserved the L there, and that's what we got. Happy Days, our top-rated play, Florida International as a 4-point dog. They come through and win outright 83-80 versus Old Dominion. Love that Jeff Jones. So that's a nice W for us. Sacred Heart, 10-point favorites over probably just about the worst team in the country, Central Connecticut State. Easy winner for us, 82-54. Sacred Heart got out fast and pretty much just kept them at arm's length the whole game. This was definitely, I'm going to call this a Don Shula game because we had this game reversed just a week ago. We had Central Connecticut State and we won over Sacred Heart. Now we're taking Sacred Heart to beat the other team and we won. I call this a Don Shula game. Don Shula, Hall of Fame NFL coach, coached the Miami Dolphins, only coach to go undefeated in an NFL season. Renowned to be probably one of the best coaches ever. There was another coach in the 70s, not quite as well known. His name was Bum Phillips. Bum Phillips was coach of the Houston Oilers. He wore big Texas 10-gallon hat, boots. He was Texas all the way. And he said this about Don Shula. He said, he can take his'ns and beat your'ns, then he can turn right around and take your'ns and beat his'ns. So that's why we're going to call that a Don Shula game. I took theirs and his, and we switched it around, and I won both times. So there. All right, St. Francis, Pennsylvania, big disappointment there. Getting a point at Long Island. They're the best team in the conference, so I say, but they're not living up to it. So I could be wrong on that one. So that's a loss. Didn't get the cover, didn't get the win there. 81 for us, 86 for them. Another loss out of the Northeast. Robert Morris from Pittsburgh, going to the same place, New York, as 2.5 point favorites. They got hammered, never in it, 78-57. We were favored by 2.5 points, but you wouldn't know it by the score. So that was another big loss. And then the late game saved our ass. What can we say? These late games saved the day. Townsend, 5.5 points at Elon. They came through late, 72-61. That game was pretty close all the way, and then Townsend just pulled away at the end to get the W. Same here, UTEP, 3-point favorites at Rice. Another game that was pretty close, and then UTEP just kind of put the arm out and got away from them there at the end by 8 points, so that's a W. Denver, we got probably lucky here. This was one where we were pretty much down anywhere from 7 to 11 points the whole second half, and Denver just did enough to hang close to them to get the W, losing 71-78 to North Dakota. I was worried that North Dakota, we're looking for that team that's going to be that guy, where we lose when we got them, and then we turn around and bet against them, and we lose again. So North Dakota's not that team. We covered on this one. Good for Denver, good for us. This was nice. Southern Miss, bad team, seemingly, 5-14. 9-point underdog at UAB. They won outright 84-77. Nice. Thank you, Southern Miss. We're going to keep you guys, think about you and use you again, maybe. And then the last game, I was out last night. I get back to the house. I flipped the computer on. I'm like, well, let's see if we can find this game. And I actually did find it. It was on a Stadium. So you just, push a couple buttons and boom, up comes the game, and it's free. It's like, all right. And so it's 10 minutes to go. Game's tied at 50. We're laying 7. Things not looking so good, but I don't know. I just had a feeling BYU was due for a run. And, I told Cat Porky, I said, yeah, we get 10 minutes of good basketball here. We're going to cover, and this is going to be a good night. And that's exactly what happened. Porky said, you're right. If they score and hit some threes, they're going to cover. So that's what happened. BYU spurted out there at the end, 74-60, covers the 7. Nice job for those guys, bouncing off that bad loss at Gonzaga. That makes 10 winners, 7 losers for the evening. Very happy, making our record 44-32. This is what we like. All right, so I guess what do you want to know now? You want me to do that other video with the Saturday picks. I had one other thought. One of my subscribers sent me a link to an article. An article about baseball cheating involving my Philadelphia Phillies. And this dated back, this was in the Inquirer, that's a Philadelphia newspaper, dated back to, I believe, 1900. In 1900, apparently, the Philadelphia Phillies cheated, and they used almost identically the same technology, somewhat, that the Astros were using. They had a guy in center field with some kind of binoculars or something, and he was looking in for the catcher's signals, and then they had a wire that was dug underground in the dirt, running down to the third base coach, who then would signal the batter, where I guess the third base coach, there was a box buried under the ground there, and it would buzz, depending on if it was 1 for fastball, 2 for curveball. So, the guy gets a buzz, he does his thing, tells the batter it's going to be a fastball, it's going to be a curveball. And this was discovered. It was discovered by other teams before the season was over, and the Phillies denied it, of course. I mean, it must not have helped them very much because that team sucked. But I thought about this, and I thought, the Phillies were bad for 100 years. And I've always wondered why. I mean, they would have the worst damn luck. Things would just, this is a team that had a 6-game lead with 12 to go in 1964, and they somehow lost the pennant. And some people around here have never gotten over that. This was a team that had a 2-run lead in Game 3 of the 77 NLCS with 2 outs, I think, and they couldn't get that 3rd out, and they fucking lost and did not go to the World Series in 1977. This was the team that just, I think, famously piled up 10,000 losses before anyone else in baseball. And I've always wondered why, and now I'm starting to think there's probably something to that. The baseball gods probably saw this in 1900 and said, "Thou shalt not win." Or I don't know what the expiration date on that was, because we did manage 2 World Series at some point. But those bastards in 1900, they probably really screwed us for years to come. So thanks, guys that have all been dead for 50 years. But what can you do? So that's my rant on that. And thanks for being here. If you're new, winning. Just saying, winning This is going to be where you want to come in for March Madness. You better tell your friends, or don't tell you. Well, tell your friends. Don't be that guy. Tell your friends. That helps us all out. Hit the like, subscribe. I think we plateaued at like 13 subscribers. So let's see if we can't like Shanghai some other people on the planet Earth. If there's only like 10 zillion, let's see if we can't get one or two more to subscribe. And I'm running out of breath and things to say. So let me make the second video, get all this up on the internet so I can go to the bar tonight. All right, very good. Good evening.